Welcome to this explainer. We're diving straight into how to engineer a rock-solid, long-lasting solar system. Specifically, we're going to uncover how to dodge those critical, often totally invisible mistakes that beginners make all the time. A solar installation might look super simple from a distance. Just mount some panels, run a few wires, hook up a battery, right? Well, the reality is that the most catastrophic failures, the ones that suddenly pop up months or even years down the line, almost always trace back to a tiny, completely avoidable oversight made on day one. You know how it goes. Beginners usually obsess over the surface level stuff. Things like, where exactly do the panels go? How do these connectors click together? How much energy am I going to produce? But while they're stuck focusing on those basics, they completely miss the critical risks. We're talking about structural roof loads, the actual physics of shading, and intense cold weather voltage spikes. These are the silent enemies of your setup, and they're exactly what we're going to tackle today. To wrap our heads around these risks, we're going to structure this explainer by physically following the flow of a system. So we'll start up on the roof with mounting and shading risks, move down the lines to wiring and electrical hazards, step into the controller and battery mistakes, and finally wrap up with the final safety inspection. All right, Section 1, the hidden installation dangers. Because let's face it, before a single electron even flows, your system has to survive the physical elements. A massive beginner mistake is forgetting that your roof is fundamentally part of the solar system. Every single mounting point has to be sealed perfectly. If you use improper flashing, you're creating a microscopic leak. You won't notice it on day one, but eventually, that moisture rots your wood framing and corrodes your electrical parts. Plus, if you ignore wind loading, you're in for a really nasty surprise. Solar panels act exactly like giant sails during a storm. So a poorly mounted system might look pristine in the sunshine, but water intrusion and wind uplift are invisible enemies just waiting to strike. And then we have shading, which is incredibly misunderstood. People usually think, a little shade just means a little less power, but it's actually a domino effect. Say a nearby chimney casts a shadow on just one corner of a panel, so its current drops. Here's the kicker. Because it's wired in a series string, that single weakest panel becomes a literal bottleneck for every other perfectly sunny panel in that circuit. It's not just a tiny dip in sun, it is a single point of failure that drastically reduces the energy production of your entire string. You really have to observe your site shadows all day long. Moving right along to Section 2, wiring and electrical hazards. Moving down from the roof, our planning here quickly escalates into very real fire risks. Okay, take a look at this engineering formula for power loss. P loss equals I squared R. What this basically means is the power you lose, which manifests entirely as heat, equals the current squared multiplied by the electrical resistance of your wire. This brilliantly reveals exactly why trying to save a few bucks with undersized wires or making loose crimps is so dangerous. Any extra resistance you add creates a massive amount of heat. Let me emphasize just how dramatic this math gets. Because the current, that I in our formula, is squared, things escalate aggressively. If you double the current running through those same wires, you don't just double the heat. No way. You create 4 times the heating and fire risk in your cables. This is exactly why professional engineers absolutely obsess over conductor sizing. Now, let's break down series versus parallel wiring, because mixing these two up is a surprisingly common blunder. Wiring panels in series increases your voltage, while your current stays about the same. Wiring in parallel, that increases current, but voltage stays the same. The danger here is that an installer might intend to build one configuration, get a little confused, and accidentally wire the other. Drastically increasing your voltage or current by mistake can instantly trigger protection faults, cause massive heat buildup, or literally fry your controller the second you flip it on. Another huge hazard is reverse polarity. You might think, hey, red is positive, black is negative, how hard can it be? But even with those super convenient click-together connectors, rushed installations inevitably lead to flipped wires. Someone gets distracted, wires get crossed, and boom, faults cascade through the entire system. Seriously, never rely solely on wire color. Always use a multimeter to measure the voltage and physically verify polarity before you plug anything together. And beyond those initial connections, we really need to talk about the lifespan of the cables themselves. A lot of beginners will route wires totally tight across sharp metal roof edges, or just let them rest on abrasive shingles. Over time, the daily thermal expansion from the sun, plus constant wind vibration, slowly wears down that insulation. Add in some poorly crimped connections that develop resistance, and you've got a perfect recipe for disaster. Physical wire damage is a slow, creeping threat that silently develops over months, eventually melting your connectors and killing your power.
All right, on to Section 3, controller and battery mistakes. We are now entering the brain of your solar system, where your settings strictly dictate if your expensive equipment survives.
Which brings us to a really interesting question, one that catches almost every single beginner totally off guard the moment the temperature drops. What do you think is the absolute most expensive installation mistake you can make when the snow starts falling? The answer? Ignoring your open circuit voltage, or VOC, limits. See, physics throws a curveball here. When solar panels get cold, their voltage actually spikes. If you sized your system based on a nice warm summer day, you are in big trouble. On a freezing winter morning, that voltage is going to shoo up, and if the combined series voltage exceeds your controller's maximum input rating, it will permanently destroy your MPPT controller. You have got to calculate for the absolute worst case cold weather voltage spike, not just normal everyday operation.
Down at the battery bank, mistakes are just as costly. Modern charge controllers are amazing, but they aren't mind readers. If you just plug your batteries in and assume those factory default settings are good to go, you are gambling with thousands of dollars. Lead-acid, AGM, and lithium iron phosphate batteries all require entirely different absorption and float settings. If you fail to program the specific chemistry profile into your controller, you will absolutely degrade your storage capacity over time or even trigger sudden shutdowns right when you need the power the most.
Finally, Section 4, the final safety inspection. The system is built, the wires are routed, the brains are programmed. But hold your horses. Before we flip any switches, we have to do a rigorous final check. Seriously, do not skip this pre-flight checklist. Before you energize anything, grab that multimeter and verify polarity one last time. Physically tug on the cables to check terminal tightness. Scroll through the controller menus to double-check those battery settings. Walk the array to make sure no cables are rubbing against sharp edges. Measure your final voltages, and test your ground connections. Taking just a few minutes to systematically verify this checklist can literally prevent thousands of dollars in instant irreversible damage. There's a quote from our source material that I absolutely love, and it really hits the nail on the head for reliable system design. The safest installation is not necessarily the fastest installation. It is the installation that has been verified, measured, inspected, and tested. A successful, long-lasting solar system isn't born from just hastily plugging things in and crossing your fingers. It comes from engineering reasoning, patience, and meticulous verification. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I've got one last question for you to mull over regarding your own setup or the one you're planning. Which of these installation mistakes did you think causes the most expensive failures in the long run? Is it the slow, invisible rot of a roof leak? The instant fry of reverse polarity? The creeping fire risk of undersized wiring? The daily energy theft from shading? Or that catastrophic winter spike of controller overvoltage? Think about your own risks, calculate your margins of error, and ask yourself, which of these invisible mistakes is silently waiting to bring your entire system down? Stay safe, always measure twice, and thanks so much for joining me.